Well, hello, listeners. This is Bernard Cash filling in for Travis for the Travis Talks Sports Show, covering news of the Santa Clarita Valley. Travis could not be here, and Coach had an emergency. He couldn't be physically, but in the spirit of coaching, he will be with me on the phone, coaching me throughout this and catching me if I fall. This is my first time leading a show, and I hope to make you guys proud. And we are excited. We have a lot to talk about today, Coach, right?
Yeah, Bernie, and I'm so excited you're in the studio. My emergency is I got a horrible cough, horrible cold, and I'm one of these guys, like, I don't want to be around anybody that's sick. So for me to come in the studio and maybe get other people sick, I don't want to be a hypocrite. So anyway, Travis Talks Sports every Friday at 1 o'clock. Travis is, a bigwig executive, as you know, Bernie, so he's in Phoenix at a trade show, probably listening to the show. Maybe he'll call in himself. So sports, Bernie and Aaron, who produces the show, does a great job every week. Sports is the toy department of life. So today we got a lot of toys to talk about. Let's talk about the Valencia girls basketball team. What are they doing, Bernie?
Well, yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about the local sports, and it is the boys that I wanted to cover. I know more about the boys. The Valencia High School boys team is a very, very interesting story. A few of you may have been there a couple of weeks ago when they lost in a nail-biter at the buzzer in overtime to Hart and were knocked out of league. Whereas Saugus and Hart went on. But as luck would have it, and ironically, Hart and Saugus, their luck did not continue, but now Valencia and the regionals is killing it. As a matter of fact, last Tuesday, they beat Riverside in a they were on a 14-game winning streak, and Valencia cracked that and beat them to go on to the semifinals, which is being played tonight. They are playing in the semifinal tonight, so go Valencia.
Oh, that's good. Well, the girls' basketball team is also doing well. Saugus, not Valencia, you said we, so I'm saying we, Saugus. The girls' basketball team is also doing very well in the CIF quarterfinals. So this valley is just full of great athletes, both men and women. And we both know that over the years we've sent so many men and women to pro sports. Is it the water, Bernie? What do you think?
I honestly think that we have a great harvesting ground of good coaching. Talent is great, but in the right hands can be molded into grandness. I mean, we do have the Kyle Bowlers and the Mike Moores who play professional football, and we have the professional baseballs players. I think we have an incredible coaching system here in the Santa Clarita, and we have awesome parents as well who get their kids involved. And if you ask my opinion, it keeps them involved in the good things, keeping them off the streets, which is why we have the lowest incident of teenage rebellion and retaliation. This is a great community, Coach, and I think the coaching programs are helping our kids excel. Besides all the the lower level, entry level programs that are available for kids to play in and explore their abilities. Speaking of great players up and coming as well. I don't know if you know, if people out there want to mix it up a little bit, talk about other sports. We have produced some great volleyball players. We have Kyle Enzing, who also graduated from Valencia High School, who was kicking butt in volleyball the last few years. And I would be very surprised if he does not make the Olympic team come 2020. He is killing it right now at Long Beach. CU Long Beach, and they are undefeated. They're the number one in the nation, Division I, and they just gave a whooping to UCLA both this week. They played at home and away, and they beat them in 4 sets. So we are producing some high-caliber athletes, indeed. So, yes, I would say it is the coaching besides the talent.
Yeah, well said. Volleyball, I really enjoy watching it on television. It's interesting. I played a little volleyball when I was younger. Have you ever played volleyball in the sand? It is really challenging. You got to be in tremendous shape. And I think the pro leagues play on the sand? The women I see, but do the pro leagues play on the sand, Bernie?
Yes, they do. They can. And as a matter of fact, the head coach of the Long Beach, Cal State Long Beach, is beginning a actual national, like they have the MLS for soccer and the NFL for football. We don't have a professional league for volleyball in this country. And I heard through the rumors, it's not official, that he is attempting to put a league together. And how wonderful would that be? And last night, it's so much fun. If the listeners, you could just show up to these high schools. You don't have to pay in, go in. And last night there was a friendly. I was there, was watching Valencia playing against Alemany, and the camaraderie is great, and the friendship is great, and iron sharpens iron. These players sharpen each other when they play each other, and it's a big family community. I mean, it was so much fun to be there in the gym watching our next door neighbors, the Briggs, Tanner Briggs and Mason Briggs, who are star players on the Alemany volleyball team, play against my kids, my own son Benjamin, on the Valencia High School volleyball team, and the camaraderie. You see how they kid with each other and give each other tips, and it's just fun. And the gym was full with parents watching. All of you guys out there, if you don't have anything to do in the evening, go to these high schools and watch some of this talent develop into major force in the future.
It's interesting. I'm watching the Olympics, which I want to talk about in a second, but maybe have you come back in a week or two. One of our great sponsors, New American Funding, Jason played soccer, big time, Division I at Cal Berkeley, and I was curious. The MLS is starting on March 4th. Can you break it down for our listeners? What is the MLS? Tell me a little bit about the MLS and what they do.
Well, as big a soccer fan as I am, I don't know that much, I'll be honest with you, Coach, about the MLS, other than the fact, here's what I know. As I always tell my kids when I was coaching them for 17 years, I don't know everything, but I'm going to teach you everything I know. The MLS is actually still an increasing league. They only have like 22, 23 teams, and it combines U.S. with Canada. They have like 4 or 5 teams from Canada. I'm not positive on that. But all of these, the wonderful thing about the MLS is all these professional teams like, Galaxy and the like, they have these academies where they invite kids from local clubs, and they can come in and practice with them and develop their talent to become, again, of course, my passion is with the youth, and I love to see these youth develop. And what these teams are doing for the community needs to be recognized. The MLS, just like the NFL, you hear about the Take 60, getting kids involved in playing 60 minutes a day and all these, fundraising. The MLS does a lot of that, but because it's not such a popular sport, soccer that is, they're not getting as much attention, but they do a lot for the community, these MLS teams. They really do, and it's highly, highly competitive. And we have players from all over the world being recruited by the local clubs, local meaning national, in the U.S. to come and play here. And when you go to watch these games, you're not only seeing the U.S. players, you're going to see some of the feistiness that you see from the Brazilians or the Europeans. You see like different flavors, and the energy is wonderful at these stadiums. If you ever get a chance to go watch an MLS game, go do it.
They're building a new stadium, a beautiful stadium near the Coliseum. Now, what team is that that's in Los Angeles?
Galaxy.
Okay.
But I think that's for the expansion team, and for the life of me, I'm forgetting their name. There's an expansion team coming to L.A.
Well,
yes, right. It's LAFC. Thanks for the reminder, Aaron. It is LAFC. That stadium is for the expansion team, LAFC.
Got you. I'm going to miss the Olympics. Can we take a few minutes and talk about the Olympics, the stories of these athletes, the tremendous amount of time that they put in practicing, the inspiration? I mean, it just comes right through the TV. Am I right or wrong on that, Bernie?
Oh, my goodness. You are so right, Coach. I'm glued to the television, and it is such a highly watched event that if you notice, a lot of the other networks have suspended the broadcast of the regularly televised shows and series because of the great passion out there of the public to watch these Olympics. But just like you so eloquently said, Coach, can sit there and watch, but we forget about the blood, sweat, and tears, and that saying applies here more than ever, that these athletes spend day in, day out training, rehabbing from injuries for 4 years to have their 30-second or 2-minute moment of glory or 1.5 minute that could end on a mistake. Like, it just breaks my heart to see Lindsey Vonn with her last hope to get the medal a couple of nights ago in the Grand Slalom, to just like hit the tip of her skis, hit the gate on the wrong end, and she was just knocked out. And you think about it, and we sit there, and it kind of bugs me a little bit to hear all the criticism that they're criticizing her. But to sit there and criticize her or any athlete who spends 4 years of hard work, and then they make a mistake or they miss a landing on those figure skaters, and then people complain, oh, we were hoping that they would win a medal for our country, but they don't give them due credit for the hard work they put in and the nutrition they have to follow through, and lack of sleep and the dedication. I tell you this, Coach, if our workforce in this country had half the dedication of these athletes have and work half to the potential that these athletes put in, we would dominate the world with our industry. Our workplace would be so much better. We would be a so much more productive country. Our work ethic is lacking when it comes to compare with these athletes. I have nothing but admiration to them. And speaking of Lindsey Vonn, she just came back from an ACL injury at 33. 1 year later, she's competing. I mean, come on, Coach, give me a break. Who can step up to that? You are right. These athletes don't get really due recognition.
Yeah, the women's. I watched the women's hockey. I had to shed a little tear. That was so cool to see how they hung in there and fought against the Canadians, which they've had a challenge against. But that race. Of those two ladies, the one mother, the only mother in the Olympics, and the other lady that I'm trying to think of the event, the cross. What is that called?
The biathlon or the cross country? The cross country.
The cross country. Oh my goodness, the shape that you have to be in, and her fighting. I mean, this is the first time in history that the United States has won that medal against, and we talked about it a few days ago. This is not, our sports are football, basketball, baseball, soccer, Norway. You wonder why Norway and Austria and Germany and all these are their sports. So the fact that we were able to beat these teams at their own game was so motivating for me, Bernie.
I agree. We have become the public. We have raised the bar of expectation of the U.S. teams in all aspect, and we forget, like what you said, these Norway and Netherlands and Austria. They are snow countries. They are winter countries, and which we shouldn't be surprised that the U.S. is not dominating in those categories. But however, last I checked, Coach, this morning, checking into the medal count, the U.S. is in 4th place with 21 medals overall. And Canada, our sister to the north, has 27 medals. I mean, that is a big statement. We're always collecting a lot of medals in all Olympics. That says a lot about the sports programs in this country and the dedication to perfection.
Well, this goes to what you were talking about earlier. Let me just chime in for a second. You made a very interesting point when you said, wow, if our American workers could put in the energy, the training in their jobs, it would be unbelievable. But let me say this, because as a business coach, this comes up all the time. Remember, these athletes, from their nutrition, and that's a cheap plug for our second half of the show on Travis Talk Sports, on KHTS 98.1. You can listen on hometownstation.com, and we have the best radio app in the country. I'm not kidding. just go to the App Store and put in KHTS 1220 AM. So we're on AM and FM. So, Bernie, let me say this. These athletes, and we're going to talk about nutrition the second half of the show. We're going to talk about supplements. We're going to talk about what's your expertise. You own for 30 years, Earthwise vitamin store, and you've helped so many people in this community, including me. But let's say this for the second half. But these athletes, think about it. They're videoed. They have a masseuse every day. I mean, they have a staff probably of 5, 6, 7 people. They have probably a sociologist or somebody in that thing working with their inner brain, their nutrition. Everything is monitored probably 10, 12, 15 hours a day. So if you or I had that kind of a staff doing whatever we decided to do, we would probably be a lot better off. So I just wanted to say that these athletes are so, and I'm saying it in a positive way, they're so pampered. It is really, and then we haven't even talked about it. The stress of performing was unbelievable, and that is where you separate the gold medal, the silver, the bronze from everybody else. The people that can handle that emotional stress, those are the people that do well. Yes or no?
I totally agree. When the difference between medaling or going home completely disappointed could be 1/100th of a second. Just imagine, not 1 second, not a half a second, 1/100th of a second, and you could get a medal, or all your 4 years of hard work can be futile. And you couldn't have been more accurate in your description of the dedication of these athletes. And it comes down to this. Physically, you can prepare your body as much as you can, but you nailed it, Coach. As a coach, you understand this more than anybody. It is the mental aspect of the game that makes a difference. It's your mental focus. You see it in all sports, in the Super Bowl, in the NBA, in all sports. You see, like a team can fall apart or the underdog team can rise, and it's purely because of what they believe in. And when you look at these athletes, just before they make the runs or they perform, the Olympic athletes, that is, you see them with their headsets on. You see them going through every step in their own mind. They visualize that, the power of visualization, and handling the stress. You're right. They have coaches for all different aspects.
We're going to take a break in a minute. You're listening to KHTS 98.1. Travis Talks Sports. Sports is the toy department of life, and I just love doing a sports show. We're going to take a break in a minute. I was going to ask you if you had a headset on. I'll ask Aaron, too. So I'll tell you, if I had a headset on, I'd be listening to the Eagles, Hotel Arizona, Hotel California. The Eagles just pump me up. Who would you be listening to?
That's a tough one.
Oh, God. Ask Aaron. Who would Aaron be listening to?
I'd probably be listening to Kanye or Jay-Z or some kind of rap.
Rap.
Maybe Run the Jewels. It depends. It depends which sport. I mean, if I'm figure skating, I might be listening to a little something easy listening. But if I'm going downhill, if I'm doing the slalom, probably something up tempo.
I hate.
What about G-Eazy? You know who he is?
I'm not that into G-Eazy.
I hate to sound too much of a cliche, but being as old as I am grown up in this country, I would be listening to something inspirational and motivational, something like Billy Graham, may he rest in peace, bless his soul, or even a Tony Robbins, or something that would be inspirational, that would help me dig deeper to be better at what I do. So that's possibly what I would be listening to.
Yeah, amen to that. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, and we're going to try to inspire you to understand what you put in your mouth, whether you're going to work in the morning.
You're still on, Coach.
Hello?
You're still on, Coach.
Oh, okay. Anyway, come on back, because Bernie, for 30 years, has served this community. with his wonderful store. Also, I want to thank our sponsor, New American Funding. And we got to get Jason on with you maybe in a week or two. So we'll be right back on Travis Talks Sports.
Real? Who bought it? Let the spirit take control.
Hi, this is Jason Perez with New American Funding, Santa Cruz's own homegrown mortgage expert. Visit my website at lendscap.com or give me a call at 661-972-1092.
Isn't Bernard pretty good, Aaron?
Go from your condo to a castle.
Yeah, I mean, his sincerity in his voice, I could listen to Bernard all day. We got to figure out, do you think a fitness, now, little fitness maybe for 10 minutes, talk about gadgets, maybe spend 15 minutes on nutrition. You know, would you think a show like that would be interesting?
Because we never just make a sub. Every sub we make is a sub above. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Your Santa Clarita Jersey Mike's, a proud sponsor of Santa Clarita High School football.
This is Bernard Cash with Earthwise Nutrition Center. We have been serving Santa Clarita Valley from the same location.
Oh, good. Yeah, save it for the show. Before we bring you on to talk about supplements, I just want to say one thing about training with the Dodgers, and Aaron can jump in on this. I don't understand pitchers. They're now throwing, and it's February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. 8 months. You wonder why 80% of these pitchers have shoulder surgery, arm surgery. These guys are overworked. They start too early, Aaron. That's my take on it. Yeah.
Family Health Center can help. Services are available on a sliding fee schedule. The mission of the Samuel Dixon Family Health Center is to give the Santa Clarita Valley access to affordable, quality primary care. There are 3 locations to serve you: Canyon Country, Newhall, and Valverde. Go to sdfhc.org for more information and to find the location most convenient for you. It isn't often when we see a company launch in Santa Clarita and become an international sensation. In 2010, Jen Gerard founded Whitening Lighting in her Valencia kitchen. Now it's a booming international sensation. Leading actresses and international models
Open up with that.
To avoid the mess, hassle, and sensitivity of other products. Whitening Lighting's simple Dial-A-Smile kit will dramatically turn your teeth whiter in just 20 minutes. Rediscover how white your teeth can look. Visit whiteninglightning.com. whiteninglightning.com.
KHTS. Now FM, 98.1 FM and AM 1220, your hometown station.
Hey, Biz, let it drop right here.
Well, welcome back, fans, to the KHTS radio station, your hometown radio station. This is Bernard Cash filling in for Travis on the Travis Talks Sport show, where we try to cover local sports and mix it up a little bit with some what's going on internationally or nationally on the pros. And having with me on the line, helping me through this, my first inaugural hosting the show. I usually come in as a guest, but I'm trying to make Travis proud. But I couldn't do it without Coach, who is with me on the phone and chimes in and helps guide me through this. I am very grateful for the opportunity to be able to be of service. So, Coach, you have anything to say before I talk about the Valencia High School dance team? I have to give them a plug. Our local dance team is kicking butt all over.
No, I want to hear what you have to say.
Well, like we were saying in the first segment, we have so much talent, and we give the usual sports a lot of attention, but sometimes we forget how much I mean, how much work it takes to be a dancer on the high school dance team. I mean, they only have 19 dancers in a school of 3,000 students. The competition is fierce to try to make the dance team. And, luckily my daughter Bella is on the team. She made the team this year, and I have to take her to school. Well, her mom does, correction, right? I took her today. But she has to be in the gym at 7 a.m. They train every day for an hour and a half, and after school in preparation for the dance numbers. And they go and compete regionally and nationally, and they have their own, I don't know all the terminology, like league-like competitions, but they have been kicking butt. The Valencia dance team places always in the top 3. I've gone and seen my daughter, and like last week they were competing, I forget where, in Orange County, and they placed they brought 4 or 5 trophies. They have like 6 different categories that they compete in, and they will be going to San Diego this Saturday. Unfortunately, I have to work my vitamin store, so I will not be able to go. But once they place in these local competitions and they're competing against all the other high schools in Los Angeles and Orange County, they can qualify for national competitions. And Valencia High School dance team has done some incredible accomplishments over the years. And the training is vigorous, and the diet is vigorous, and they have to do that in addition to their schoolwork and and academically keeping their grades up. So, go girls, go Valencia High School dance team, and I hope you kick butt this weekend.
That was a good report on Valencia. We got to give some love in the next few weeks to the other high schools. Let's talk about you. For 30 years, are in our community in Granary Square. Earthwise is your store. It's a beautiful store. Every time I go in there, people are almost standing in line because they want to talk to you. You know what the heck you're talking about. So going back to your daughter, what is her diet? I mean, what is she having for? She's burning up tremendous amount of calories in the morning. So what is she having for breakfast? What's she having for lunch? And what does she have for dinner?
Well, it is the trick with teenagers is getting enough nutrition into their system. And they, Bella, today she had a banana and some yogurt. It's a trick because first thing in the morning you don't want to eat too much before you go exercise because you'll puke it. So you want something for immediate energy, and then you have your real solid meal like an oatmeal or cereal or a good breakfast sandwich after you finish training. You want that immediate energy. You wake up in the morning and your fuel tank is empty. You need to put some good sugars, good fruit sugars in your system so you don't run out of gas before you work out or train. And then you want something with high protein afterwards to help prepare the muscles and recover. The great thing these youthful athletes have going for them that you and I, coach, no longer have is growth hormones. So their growth hormones are rampaging, and they can recover from an injury so quickly, unlike you and I can. But they need the building blocks. They need the basic proteins and carbohydrates. And not to toot my own horn, but since you opened the door for me, I'll try to do a little plug here for my stories. I have been helping. My passion started with helping kids excel, and then when they see the benefits that their kids are getting, they come in and they talk to me. I am all about, and I can get really excited. I would love to do a show on nutrition and the truth about how to decipher a product, whether it's good or not. In the last 30 years, I've seen a lot of changes in the vitamin manufacturing industry. But I love to tell people the truth. I love to see them take a product, or more often than not, Coach, I make them walk out of the store without buying a product. Tell them you don't need it, especially like with creatine for athletes. I know young athletes. I know I'm stirring the pot out there, and a lot of coaches out there are going to get pissed at me. But these kids, you're playing with fire with creatine. It can cramp you. It can overload your kidneys. There's a lot of knowledge out there that if you're not properly educated, you have no business taking these products. Over the decades, I have turned away so many teenagers from coming and using the sports nutrition products that are designed for professional athletes, that they do that for a living, not for recreational sports. You could hurt yourself if you take a supplement that you don't know how to use. And that is part of my passion. And of course, with decades comes knowledge and experience. And the other aspect of my business that I fully enjoy is having somebody coming in with cholesterol or a heart murmur or elevated blood pressure or slightly elevated sugar and or can't sleep at night or has joint pain, and be able to recommend something natural that will help them not go on medication, or if they are on a medication, with the doctor's supervision, be able to reduce the dose and hopefully maybe potentially with the doctor's approval get off the medication and go to something all natural. The problem is this, folks, and if you're out there listening, taking supplements on your own, you're playing Russian roulette. What you don't know can hurt you. You can't rely on whatever is presented to you just on the shelf. There is so much knowledge to know about that, and I don't want to take up a lot of time on the show about that, but it is important. If you care about organic and you care about good foods, you should care about how a vitamin is made, because you are putting that in your body. Don't buy cheap. Everybody talks about cheap. You get cheap, and I can explain why that can be a huge detriment to your health. A lot of people come in and tell me, oh, I took echinacea, oh, I took olive leaf, I took vitamin C, it doesn't work. And I tell them, no, it doesn't work because that's not what probably is in the product, or because it's not made right. Coming back to sports, it's just the same as with sports. Not all coaching systems are the same, and not all athletes are the same. And they don't get the same result. That's what you put into it. So you just can't slap a label on something and hope that it's going to give you the results.
Help me get over my cold. What should I be taking for my cold? What supplements?
Well, very interesting that you did that. For those of us that are watching us on live cast on Facebook, I brought some products to show. So here's a product called Be Well, Coach, and I apologize that I did not put you on this. And everybody, this is the #1 selling product right now. It's called Be Well. And it has a combination of not just vitamin C and zinc that we all know about, but it has things in it like bee pollen and echinacea, an olive leaf extract, and golden seal and elderberry. It has a combination of all these herbal extracts in it that you take just one a day, and you will not get sick.
What about B12 or B6 about boosting my immune system? Yeah.
That is a very good question, and a lot of people, and it is a valid one, because after 40, our body's ability to utilize B vitamins from our diet becomes lessened. Our gut just does not absorb B vitamins as well, and athletes could benefit from taking extra B vitamins. That is a very good question. For the average individual who is eating healthy, I would recommend a product that we make. It's called a complete multivitamin that has high B vitamins complex. It has all the B vitamins in it. But for the old folks like you and I, a sublingual B12 is definitely called for. And you want it sublingual because, as I just mentioned, B12's usability. I don't want to use the word absorbability, because the absorbability of a vitamin depends on one thing and one thing only: how it's made. Nothing else. Just how it's made will dictate whether it's absorbable or not. But B12, because it can be utilized under the tongue and goes into your system under the tongue, it is very advisable for us over 50 to take an extra B12. It helps with the formation of hemoglobin, and as we know, hemoglobin carries oxygen, therefore giving us more energy. It helps anemic people. It helps with the production of iron, so and with mental acuity. So yes, Coach, I would recommend like a B12 sublingual and a mild B complex. But if you took the multivitamin I sell, everything will come in one pill.
I'm taking 1,000 milligram of B12 every day. So am I getting enough taking 1,000, or I need to get a little bit more?
No, you need 5,000, and it's micrograms. You need 5,000, Coach. I mean, at 39, I know you're looking good and all that, but you need 5,000 micrograms.
All right. Are we putting Aaron to sleep? Does Aaron look interested in what we're talking about with these supplements? Can you tell, Bernie?
Aaron is extremely busy back here. You should see him with his fingers doing all the stuff, and he's giving me. Aaron has been the silent coach behind the microphone, giving me encouragement and nodding his head in approval, helping me feel good about myself doing this for the first time. Thank you, Aaron.
Well, you're doing a great job. You're listening to Travis Talk Sports, and we got to thank all our sponsors: Apollo Haircutting. Apollo's got 3 and soon to be 4. That's where the coach gets his haircut. They have professional people. They do it right the first time. They actually care how you look. So next time, if you haven't tried Apollo hair cutting, look them up. They've got 3 locations, and they'll have a 4th soon near the station. Of course, new American Funding with Jason, Jersey Mike's. We got so many wonderful sponsors that keep us on the air. So when you look at Title Boxing, how about Title Boxing? Do you realize that they have grown? Our listeners, Bernie, have gone over to Title Boxing. About 65% females are signing up. It's a workout that have you ever boxed, Bernie? Have you ever done any boxing? I have. And you can get more done in 30 minutes if you get trained properly and you know what to do. It's Title Boxing. They're over there across from Best Buy in Valencia, Title Boxing. All right, so can we talk a little bit, and I want to get Aaron in on this, the Dodgers. That's a baseball team, Bernie. They were 1 win away from the World Series. I'm still recuperating from their 7th game loss. I'm still a little bitter. Thank God Darvish is gone. Good riddance. Go over to the Cubs like he did. But they're trying to make baseball speed it up. They're trying to speed it up. They're trying to make baseball a little bit more interesting to bring the younger people in. So, Aaron, this is what they're talking about. Your team is behind 4-3 in the bottom of the 9th. You're up at bat, and you can bring anybody in that you want. You can take your home run hitter, your guy batting third, your cleanup hitter, and insert them in the lineup, no matter where the lineup is going into the bottom of the 9th, as long as you're behind. I think that is cool. Bernie and I were talking about the other day. Almost every other sport allows you to bring in players at the end of the game to try to win. What do you think, Aaron?
I don't like that. I think that there's a batting order, there's a rotation, and it's the luck of the draw. If your player isn't coming up, then he's not coming up. You can't just willy-nilly the rules.
So I guess Aaron feels that would give the losing team an advantage, and the team, the coach that did a good poor planning an advantage, and the coach that did a good lineup a disadvantage. I don't know. I actually like the idea, Coach.
Well, it would tick off the relief pitchers would be the ones that are really suffering, because when you look at if a relief pitcher's coming in and he's got the 7th, 8th, 9th, or 8th, 9th, and his chances, if he's a superstar relief pitcher, his chances of getting everybody out is pretty good. But I'm shocked, really, Bernie, that Aaron doesn't think that would juice up the game a little bit. Don't you think we need to shorten the game? Let's keep the game somewhere like for the NBA. It's great, 2.5 hours. Boom, you're done. Baseball needs to be 2.5 hours. I mean, let's bring baseball into 2018. I think they're trying slowly. They took the clock off there, and so no more clock. They figured out yesterday that they waste about 13 minutes. So I don't know. Is that a big deal? I don't know. All right, I'm done. Go Dodgers. Well, we're at Dodger Station at KHTS. Did you know that, Aaron? We're at Dodger Station.
I do know that.
Before I comment on that, I think we may have time to take one or maybe 2 callers. If any of you out there listening would like to call in and comment on what Coach and I are babbling about, and if you have an input, the phone number is 661-298-KHTS, 661-298-5487. We'd love to hear your opinions or any comments on any subject that we've been covering here. But Coach, while I like your idea, my comment on that is I don't want the sports game to be shortened. I want my money's worth. I want more of a good stuff. But I do like the twist. I like the wild card. It's like, when you're playing poker, deuces or wide, you mix it up a little bit. I like that idea. But I don't know enough about baseball to offer a well-educated opinion of how that would impact the game or what, people out there might think. While we're waiting for a caller or 2 to call, hopefully, I just wanted to mention one thing. You mentioned Apollo. I just want to give a quick plug. Myself and my boys go there talk about professionalism, talk about service. They really know how to cut hair and how to service, so you get more than just a haircut. If you've never tried them, you should go give them a try. They are awesome, and it is an experience. It's not just a haircut.
It's a fun actually, all the Apollos is a fun atmosphere. So I've even seen a couple of ladies go in there for a short haircut. So, yeah, it's fun at Apollo. They figured out how to make it fun, especially for the guys. So changing subject, you're listening to Travis Talk Sports every Friday, 1 o'clock in KHTS. Sports is the toy department of life. So, Bernie, when you look at college basketball, March Madness, I know Aaron likes college basketball, so do I. So in the last week or so, there's been all these stories coming out about agents paying these players significant sums of money, $14,000, $12,000, $10,000. So, it's a pay-to-play, and all these players that have been paid are right now in the NBA. So my question goes to what responsibility, Bernie and Aaron, do the players have to have a moral compass for their schools, for their life, for the fans? I mean, I get that if you're in an economic situation where you can barely feed yourself, I get that. But all these players are on scholarships. They have training tables. They're taken care of in terms of nutrition and food-wise. You guys want to comment about the moral compass that seems to be breaking down?
Let's save that for the next segment. We got to take a quick commercial break, Coach.
Done. Let's go.
Okay, so we will be back after this quick break. Please hang on with us, and if you can, give us a call. Give us a quick call, post a question, or we will be tackling Coach's question right after the break. Hang in with us, KHTS Radio.
Little Eye Leaders is the newest preschool in the Santa Clarita Valley. At Little Eye Leaders, our outstanding teachers lead with intellect, perspective, and heart. That means our programs provide a warm, nurturing atmosphere to meet the unique needs of each child. We believe that play is a powerful form of learning for young children. That's why our kids have every opportunity to learn through the magic and excitement of play. Parents, schedule a tour today by calling 303-0400 or online at littleeyeleaders.org.
Hi, this is Jason Perez with New American Funding, Santa Clarita's own homegrown mortgage expert. Visit my website at lendscap.com or give me a call at 661-972-1092. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or trying to go from your condo to a castle, here at New American Funding, my team and I are here to help you do whatever you need. Once again, feel free to give me a call, 661-972-1092, or visit my website at lendscap.com. I'm looking forward to working with you.
Title Boxing Club is here in Santa Clarita. We're fast-paced, action-packed, and addictive. We've got music pumping and energy flowing. Come out to the Title Boxing Club and embrace your inner power and sweat it out at Santa Clarita's best workout spot for you and your entire family. Join us for your first shot-free class at the Title Boxing Club on Bouquet Canyon and Newhall Ranch Road.
This is Bernard Cash with Earthwise Nutrition Center. We have been serving Santa Clarita Valley from the same location in Granary Square Shopping Center for the last 30 years. We built our business on earning people's trust. What you get at our store, you will not get anywhere else. You're going to get a family that's going to tell you the truth, that's more interested in earning your business long-term versus making a big sale. You're going to get 30 years of knowledge, and you're going to get a wide variety of products that actually work. You can visit us at buyearthwise.com or call us at 661-255-2928.
At Jersey Mike's, we make a sub above. Bread baked fresh, veggies served crisp, meat and cheese sliced on the spot. Then comes the juice. Red wine vinegar and olive oil blended to perfection. It's what makes a Jersey Mike's sub a sub to behold. And beholding? Well, we think that works best with two hands. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Your Santa Clarita Jersey Mike's, a proud sponsor of Santa Clarita Sports.
With the safe disposal of waste from our homes in the Santa Clarita Valley, Chiquita Canyon Landfill is able to create enough green energy to power 10,000 homes each year. So you can feel good that the waste from your home in the SCV is helping create a clean energy source and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Chiquita Canyon Landfill is our partner in sustainable living.
Chiquita Canyon is helping lead the way to a greener future.
I listen to it all day, every day.
Hometown, your hometown station.
Hey, Biz, let it drop right here.
Welcome back to Travis Talks Sports. This is Bernard Cash filling in for Travis on KHTS 1220 AM and 98.1 FM radio. Also online, myhometownstation.com. We thank you for listening in, and we're back, and we will be tackling a very interesting question that Coach posed just before the break. But I believe, Aaron, do we have a caller on the line, or did we lose him?
Looks like we might have lost him once again. Mason, you there?
Yeah, we're here.
Oh, they're there.
All right, so it looks like we have a caller. Mason, are you the Mason I mentioned early on in the show?
Yes, it is.
All right, go ahead, Mason. What is the question that you have or comment that you have for us today?
I'd just like to thank you guys for accepting my call, and I was just wondering what vitamins or supplements you guys would recommend for high-level athletes.
Thank you for the question, Mason. And knowing that you are a high-level athlete, and I know you're ranked, I want to say 1 or 2 in the nation as a volleyball player. I don't want to embarrass you, but I heard that about you. That's a very good question. What I would recommend is something called CSP Pack, a complete supplement program. And that will take the guessing process out of what you should take. It's a comprehensive program, only has 4 pills. For those of you watching online, you could see the product right here. It's only 4 pills, and it covers all your vitamins, antioxidants, B complex, extra C and E for muscle tissue repair, and more importantly, what athletes forget about are the minerals. You need all 76 minerals to help with the electrolyte function, to prevent cramping, and help you with mental focus.
Ooh, that sounds pretty awesome. Thank you for the information. Thank you.
You're very welcome, and you did fantastic last night. Just take it easy on my son when he makes those big serves. Don't dig every single one of them, Mason. Will you just give us a chance next time?
Yeah, next time I'll give you a few chances. Give me the ball a couple more times. That was fun.
Thank you for the call. Thank you. So before we took the break, Coach, you had a very interesting question. And let me see if I can understand it. I'll recap it and see if Aaron and I can comment on that, unless there's another caller maybe that may have a comment. You were saying, I think, do college athletes who you get up in the spotlight, do they have an obligation or a moral obligation or some sort of an ethical code to not accept or how to deal with these companies going and guying over them and offering them financial compensation? Does that sum up the question accurately, Coach?
Well, the issue for me is the coaches of these teams. Reggie Bush, one of the greatest college football players of all time, is driving around in a brand new Escalade. Come on, these coaches know. It's not 100 players. There's like 15 players on a college basketball team. They know what these kids are doing, and to me, they're disingenuous. They're not being honest with us, and this thing has to be cleaned up, Bernie. Where's the morality? Where's the character?
Coach, I wish I could disagree with you to make a heated debate here, but unfortunately, I wholeheartedly agree with you. I think like in any area in life, whether it's athletics or in the workplace, you have to earn what you get. And when you are going through college, you're still an amateur, you're still learning, And I believe you have to wait until you become a professional before you get compensated for your services. And I wholeheartedly agree that at that level, you may serve as a role model for athletes coming behind you, that you should maintain the high level of ethics to decline such gifts, if you will. And I think just being given the opportunity to shine and be drafted high in the draft and given a professional contract, I think that in and of itself should be enough reward. That is my take on it.
Yeah, well said. I mean, well said. You know, you're in college, you're not a professional, and you know you're breaking the rules. You know that you're hurting your university. Honestly, I don't get it. So it has to be somewhere, parents, teachers, coaches along the way. These kids, they feel they're entitled. And this entitlement continues, especially these better players, when they get to college. Anyway, I know I'm beating a drum here that'll go on and on.
No, Coach, I mean, to sum up this, I think the sense of entitlement leads to mediocrity, and I unfortunately am having a hard time finding someone to hire at my store because everybody comes in wanting to know how much they're going to get paid. Nobody's ever come in and said, let me prove myself to you. And we are lacking in that department, but I don't want to go off on a big tangent on that either. But there is a wise saying that my dad told me growing up, and he says, certain things in life are best savored at the right time. If you give a reward before it is earned, it is not as savored as when it is earned by hard work. There is a time to get married. There is a time to to work. There's a time to play. There's a time to sleep. There's a time to eat. There's a time for everything in life. And when you do the right thing at the right time, the reward is in and of itself the way you feel about it. And I know we're coming up to wrapping up the show here. Travis, wherever you are, I wholeheartedly thank you for trusting me to fill in for you today. You have big shoes to fill, and this is an incredible sports talk show, sports, and I hope to come back again as a guest. Thank you, listeners, for tuning in. Without you, we would have no show, and we hope to be back next Friday. It's every Friday at 1 o'clock is the show. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Come and get